Guys, daily recap for May 16th, 2022. Let's take a look at what we did today. So market, we came in, we were a little bit more on the bullish side, leaning bullish for continuation higher. And the reason for that is the daily chart was, downtrend broke. We have room to retest the top channel there, and I figured that's where we're going to go. Now, we didn't quite get all the way there, but we did grind higher for most of the day. Obviously, you can see the wide channel that was stuck within off the lows pretty much the entire day, right? Bottom of the channel, top of the channel up there. Unable to break through last day's highs. But all in all, we did find most of the relative strength and weakness names. That's what we were sticking with for the most part. So right out the gate, we were after the oil names. So we did CVX calls, XOM calls, Oxy calls, which all worked out nicely. CVX got 100% change on those, 130%. XOM, we were close to 100%, and same with the Oxy. We also did Indo on the equity side long from 1490s, and obviously we got a nice little push on this for almost 4 points to the upside. So not a bad little trade there. We did a little bit of Tesla at the gate, which ended up not working. It actually did come back, and it did work for like 3 points, but realistically, it wasn't really a great trade. Wix, we were long at 70 bucks this morning. Relative strength on bad earnings. Typically, you don't want to fight the trend, so took it long, got a nice little pop from 70.10 into the 75. Nice little trade there. UPST long 37.81, played that to the 40 level as well. Nice little trade. We tried some MANT long this morning, and we ended up just exiting it halfway through the day because it didn't do anything. So just ended up taking that name off. VA, we did take this one long this morning. Played it into the 130 level. We also had 135 calls, which we ended up selling for about 40 cents or 40% to the upside, which was not bad. So decent little trade there. We had some YA10 that we swung overnight. Nice little grind higher. We're still holding that. We did take some CBNA long at 44.43. We got a little bit of a pop on that into the 45.50 level. Ended up selling some for a point, then moving our stops to our entries, and ended up getting up over that trade. AMD 95.94 long, ended up selling into this pop here. And we actually did roll into some calls on that continuation move to the upside. Decent little trade. Not anything big, but a couple points. Can't complain. ZS, we tried taking this one short 637 this morning. Ended up getting stopped out. I should have had a little bit of a wider stop above the 50 today, so unfortunately it was just too tight on that starter. Ended up getting fall through all the way back towards the target, which we had at 142. So that was just a little bit too tight of a stop on the starter, and keep that in mind for the next time around. What else did we do on the equity side? We did a little bit of, talked about the Indo. Oh, we did some Twilio short. I was looking at the cloud-based names. We got a couple downgrades this morning. They all started to sell off, basically all moving with sympathy, which they typically do. We took some Twilio short 103.89, ended up trading that into the 100 level and getting stopped out the rest at our entries on that. But we did make a couple 3 points on that one to the downside, so that was decent. We were also in DDOG, cloud-related name. 99.34 short. We ended up adding into that position perfectly, trading it for a couple points to the downside as well. So that was nice. We're at Sava long for about I think it was like 2 points to the upside, 2 points and change. So that was a nice little trade that we did there. CHGG, Beth mentioned that there was bid news. We waited for the unhaul to grab it long, traded it for a point to the upside from 1934 to the 2040 level. So that was a decent trade as well on that. And lastly, we tried some Tesla long at the end of the day there, which didn't work. Ended up having to get out of that. And that's pretty much it on the equity side. So not bad, pretty good. Decent hit rate there. And on the option side, we talked about those oil-based names. Those worked out really nice. I was happy with that. And then we did a couple other things like Lilly, 320 calls, which ended up going up above 270%. So that was a really good trade there. Probably the best on the option side today. We did some SPY puts this morning, which worked out nicely as a hedge. Got about 40% on those, or 50% on those actually. We tried a little bit of square long, or square options calls. Those ended up not working. We had some Apple puts on this morning. We actually ended up taking those off flat. We ended up grabbing Microsoft 265 calls when it started to break this flag to the upside. We traded that right into the 265 level. I had a 266 target, and we pretty much got right into it. We ended up selling right at the highs too, and we were just basically playing that extension to the upside. Took it off on that extension, so that worked out really nice. We tried some Amazon calls this morning. Those ended up not working. We could have sold into the pot, but I simply just thought we were going a little bit higher and ended up just not working. So ended up having to get stopped out of that one, unfortunately. Facebook long, we got about 100% and change on that, which was nice. We tried some Netflix puts at 170 and we ended up actually taking those off flat as well. So we didn't let it go negative on us, we just ended up exiting that position. We had a little bit of Pfizer long, the 52 calls. Got a little pop on them this morning. Nothing major on that though. QQQs, that was a roll that we had. Literally talked about that. All in all, on the option side, pretty mixed. Some stuff worked, some stuff didn't. Like we took some BMY calls, got about 50% on those. Those are okay. That AMD roll ended up going to like 20%, 30% to the upside. That was okay. A lot of meth trades. BLNK, we tried the 19 calls, just ended up not working. ABV 160s, we ended up getting like 30% on those. We talked about BMY. Crowd 130 puts, we ended up making about 34% on those. Shop 300 puts, those ended up not working. Basically, it just took too long to sell off, so I had to just take that off at the end of the day there. Talked about Microsoft. Oh, UONE, that was a good one. We took the 12.5 calls for about 80% to the upside, and we're swinging the rest of those as well. So all in all, pretty mixed on the option side. Biggest winners were the oil names. Couldn't really get big on anything except for those oil names because those are the only things that had relative strength today, as well as Lilly, which we were able to get big on, which was nice. And other than that, it was kind of just scalp trading on the option side. So kind of kept it small. All in all, pretty decent day considering how choppy it was. We did find the relative strength and relative weakness names. We'll see what happens going forward. Next day, I do think the SPY will have an outside day tomorrow. Not sure if it will be to the upside or the downside, but I do think we'll gap above the last day's high or the last day's low, and that's going to dictate the direction for tomorrow in terms of continuation and range. Anywho, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, you go to spartantrading.com. Check us out there. We also have our free Discord link in the description of the video. So you can pop into Discord, see what we're doing. We do give free ideas there as well. I gave Indo today in the Discord, $14.90 to $18.80, not bad for a free trade. You certainly pay for a couple months just over one trade. And yeah, that's about it, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.